This week's scenario is Recon from the 2015 Steamroller packet. The scenario does not have the Killbox artifice in effect and consists of a rectangular zone in the center of the board flanked by 2 flags. The flags can be dominated for 1 CP, the enemy objective can be destroyed for 1 CP, and the zone can be controlled for 1 CP or dominated for 2 CPs. First player to 5 control points or caster an assassination wins the game.
So this is the 3rd game of our Scramble tournament, and I am not locked into either list. Ultimately, I ended up going with Dr. Arkadius. I was looking at the matchup pairings, and he had Elemental Communion and Runes of War. And Elemental Communion is really good at killing infantry, so I didn't want to put Helga into that. And then I also wasn't very confident in her ability to crack a lot of armor, so that's why ultimately I went with Arkadius.
Alright, so here we are in the finals of our Scramble. Gaston has brought a couple of interesting lists, and there's a funny story behind my list selection. I choose to go with Calandra and the Elemental Evolution list, Tier 3. The reason for this is because I had just watched the game Gaston had against Fort, where he played 52 creatures with Midas, and I thought that was one of his list pairings. So, that being the case, I figured that this list would handle mass infantry much better than Runes would, and it would also do a good job if he decided to take the Arkadius list, was what he took. So this should be a good fight. Looking forward to the challenge, and let's see what's happening. I won the roll and chose to go first. The nice thing about Elemental Evolution is I can set Calandra up center and then adjust my beast to his setup.
There's nothing particularly special about my deployment. I went ahead and did it more or less symmetrically. So with Arkadius in the middle, his support pieces, and then the Warhawks on either side of him, the Roadhawks on either side of them, then the Gunboars and the Goraxes sort of behind. I went ahead and stacked 4 Razor Boars onto the side opposite Calandra, and that's the side that has most of the Krielstone units deployed. And I figured, that might be a good way to run them up to those guys, pop feet, and then send them in to maybe cut up a couple of their Krielstone bearers. Otherwise, we're going to use that hill to try to help Arkadius keep him a little bit safe. That is a lot of advanced deploy shooting war beasts, and so I'm pretty concerned about him getting shot up and just dying that way, especially with her feet, because she does have a very powerful feat for fixing dice.
Alright, for my advanced deployment, I've played this list quite a few times actually, in tournaments and in practice games. What I've always liked to do is line all the beasts out, kind of to the extent of Calandra's range. Kind of try to set up beasts across from where I think they'll do the best work. I had the pleasure at the East Coast Rumble of playing Jeff Fredrickson, who really gets a lot of credit for the innovation and stuff that's gone into this list, and just Elemental Evolution in general. And he's the one that kind of convinced me to go from a full, I used to play some Warders, I used to play some Rune Shapers. He's kind of the one that convinced me to go to a full beast loadout. It takes away a lot of people's chance to debuff your infantry and stuff like that. And he likes to use a staggered approach, sort of a more brick style. And so I'm kind of trying to mimic that a little bit. I still can't get away from my habit of being spread out, but I'm definitely more central. Alright, Trollblood turn 1. My basic objective here is to put the beasts that I feel are the most expendable up front. I want to give myself a chance to have a nice feat alpha with shooting if it presents itself. Gaston and I played this matchup once before, and he was kind enough to throw his heavies up there where I could basically alpha with all my light shooting. And when I was able to do that, I was able to take almost all his heavies off the table before the fight even started. I don't think he'll make the same mistake in this match, so I just want to make sure that I hedge my bets a bit, so I spread out. Load the stone to full, Soothing Song, and charge Calandra up. Stone's go ahead and pop for armor and get ready to see what Gaston's going to do.
This is kind of why whenever you have the opportunity to play against Elemental Communion, try to win the dice roll off and not let them go first. It's a lot of advanced deploy lights and they get up the table very quickly, and then they're just going to use Soothing Song to take care of all their Fury problems. The dilemma that I'm facing right now is that if I advance too far, he's got about a 13-inch threat range with all of his guns. He can pop feet and he can relatively easily take a couple of my heavies off the table. And then if I use Hyper Aggressive to move them forward, then they just get to charge range of a couple of his other guys. And the combination of the damage animi and the feet means that I'll probably lose. So, or at least lose my heavies. So what I'm looking to do then is try to stay far back and set up one of the original things that was used to do with Arkadius' Theme Force, Mad Science, which is pop feet so that way your guys are moving forward. And that way you just get a little bit of threat extension. So I don't have a lot of room to work with. I've got about an inch of spare play on threat ranges. So what I'm doing is I'm advancing my beasts just a little bit. I'm turning it so that way they cannot see the objective and they can't see each other. And the idea there is that next turn I'll be able to pop feet and it'll launch everything forward. They won't be turning back towards my army and attacking each other, if everything goes to plan. The Razor Boars ran around the building over there. They're just kind of gonna threaten and provide me a little bit of forward board control and give him something to attack that isn't me. The other thing I'm a little bit worried about is him taking a couple of his trolls, running them up there and trying to bounce Electro Leaps into Arkadius, and doing that would probably be pretty bad for me. Otherwise, we had Forced Evolution go up on the Roadhog on the top of the screen. Arkadius did go ahead and put up Aggravator just to get, you know, a few hyper-aggressive moves, maybe if the opportunity presents itself, if I screw up on placement, or if there's like a late turn chance. Also, it'll affect the Razor Boars, so I'm using them to kind of hug that wall, maybe get a little bit of cover, then kind of get them up into his grill and force some plays.
Alright, well, Gaston has definitely shown that he learned from our last match that you don't put your heavies in 13-inch threat range for me to shoot down with every single one of my light beasts. So what he's done is he's kind of turned his guys so that they don't have the objective in line of sight. So he's setting up for his feet turn, which allows him to frenzy his beast forward and then activate and start charging with them. So I go into the think tank a little bit here, and what I'm trying to figure out is I want him to come forward. I want him to commit his heavies, and what I want to try to do is I'm going to sacrifice a couple lights in order to then have retribution on his heavies. So I'm trying to figure out which lights are most expendable. I think in this matchup the Pyre Trolls are my most expendable. Next would be the Storm Trolls, and I want to really protect the Winter Troll, and I need the Slag Trolls for heavy hitting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to since he turned all his stuff away from the objective, I thought I'd be cute and sneak my guy right up behind the objective, kind of use the bigger base for the purposes of protecting my beast. It doesn't work out exactly how I wanted it to, but it works out okay. And at this point, I figure what I'll try to do is take out some of these small pigs. You know, it's not that they're a super big menace, but right now I've put the Lightning Troll's Animus on the Pyre Troll, so he's immune to lightning, and I'm shooting him in the back so I can leap to a pig. I'm going to boost damage on that pig. So it's basically allowing me to put the Pyre Troll in a position where he's kind of near the wall, and for his heavies to come get that Pyre Troll, he's going to have to do some funny positioning. This Pyre Troll is going to go out and he's going to set these two pigs on fire. And his goal really is the same. If he's going to come, I want his beast to have to, number one, go towards Pyre Trolls, and number two, kind of keep him away from the middle of the zone. One of the things I've decided after his first turn is that I'm going to try to win this on scenario. I'm going to try to clear out that center zone and maybe even score on my next turn if possible. So he hyper aggresses the pigs forward. They're both on fire. One's kind of beat up. This kind of brings him in range of another guy to shoot him. So I figure if I can take the little guys off the table, you know, things might just get the annoyances out of the way. Not able to actually kill the pigs, but they're at least that one of the front's pretty beat up. So the rest of this turn is just about positioning my guys. If I can take out some small pigs, fine. But I really don't want to be killed by his heavies on his feet coming up. I thought I was gonna be in range of shooting this guy again. I looked leaping off. Turns out he was out. A little annoyed with myself because I probably had a little bit more movement. I'm gonna go ahead and get the Winter Troll's Animus up on that Storm Troll, I believe, later. I think Freezer is an excellent ability in Calandra's list. You can see I'm kind of thinking again because that shot missed, so plans are now being reformulated on the fly. I know I don't want to lose my Winter Troll. I know I don't want to lose my Slags. That's kind of the goal of the turn here. So Winter Troll's going to go to the side. He's going to put his Animus up on that Storm Troll. Now I don't want to lose my Slags, but yeah, this one comes up here and starts shooting small pigs. So sometimes you get your best plans kind of falter, and you go try to kill small pigs. Anyways, I think I do hit him and take him off table. Be sad if he didn't. If he lives through that, I think I do kill him. Yep, I did. So, again, I figure if he's going to take out a light for a heavy, I don't want him to be able to get 2 lights for a heavy. That's my goal, is 1 light he takes and I take his heavy back, and that's an attrition war I don't think he can last through. So Calandra's putting up Starcross. The Pyre Troll on the top of the screen is out of her command. Everybody else is in her command. Actually, the bottom of the screen if you guys are looking at it. And she is filling the stone back up. Stone's moving in position, and really the Slag Trolls at the bottom are just going to shuffle, and that's going to be the end of my turn. I haven't seen Gaston use the Arkadius feat in the manner he's set up for in this game, so some of that's just hesitancy on my part. We'll see what happens.
So he came forward, and he has, I don't know, something like 10 or 11 war beasts in his army, and I'm seeing an opportunity to probably clip about 5 of them out is going to be my goal, particularly with Arkadius' feat turn. So we're not going to upkeep hyper aggressive. We are going to go ahead upkeep Forced Evolution. And unfortunately, one of my little Razor Boars did burn to death. Is some smelly bacon. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of Razor Boars. They're either going to charge or they're going to advance and boost. And they're just going to go straight in on that Pyre Troll. Make sure to stay in Arkadius' control area so they can force. And I believe they are out of Starcrossed, at least for this. Unfortunately, they're not doing a phenomenal amount of damage, but any little bit helps. Again, the other one, he advanced, boost to hit, boost to damage. He does a little bit better. And then hopefully when you pop feet, they will finish that Pyre guy off, or at least get him relatively damaged. So, the other guy on the top, he's going to go in, he's going to do the same thing to the other Pyre Troll. He is in Starcross range, but he will still manage to hit. And unfortunately I don't think he's some very fantastic damage die. So this little guy, my intended plan with him was to run him up and turn to face, that way he could only see the Krielstone model for his frenzy. Unfortunately, I got too close to the Winter Troll. I had a brain fart, didn't realize his rules, and I ended up getting him stationary frozen instead. Next up we have Arkadius going. He goes ahead and he pops feet. So we're going to have the Roadhog frenzy towards that Pyre Troll. There's a little bit of work to make sure he can get around that house. We end up calling in one of the spectators to be an impartial judge. And not to make pig jokes, but it ends up being by the hair on his chinny chin chin. Next up we have the Warhog and he goes and he frenzies. This is where I screwed up with my my placements and everything on turn 1. The idea is normally when you do this, you have the Roadhog in front of the Warhog, so that way the Roadhog goes 8 inches, Warhog goes 7 inches. Because of my inability to really move forward the previous turn, I didn't have that opportunity to kind of get the distances there, so the Warhog actually ends up going into the Roadhog and damaging him, which is not fantastic. Then we go up next with the other Warhog, and the Roadhog again goes into him, because of the... I didn't want the Roadhog really to go towards the Razor Boars too much. I didn't want to get jammed up on that wall, so that way I didn't have to force him. And instead we went with the Warhog there. He ended up not taking a lot of damage. He took maybe a couple damage from that. So not a textbook feat at all. And that's one of the things that's nice about the videos, is you can kind of see where this can go horribly wrong as well. Now we have the Razor Boars, they're all just going, they're frenzying on whoever their targets are. I think they leave that silly Pyre Troll on like 3 health, something painful like that, where it's like, man, I wish he was there. The other thing that you need to consider when you're going to do this is the range on the animi, and things like, in this case I didn't have the Bonegrinders going to Craft Talisman on Dr. Arkadius, so I kind of handicapped myself a little bit. And that's kind of what this pause is for, me trying to figure out what I'm doing here. So he goes ahead, he throws up Psychosurgery to kind of heal some of the damage that I did, unfortunately, unnecessarily. And I'm in kind of a tricky position where I don't want to spread Primal around too much, because, you know, I'd like to have my War Beasts for next turn, but at the same time you have, you need 6s to hit, but you have Calandra with Starcrossed up, and that makes it really, really difficult. So I'm trying to be sparing with Primal, and ultimately this is probably a very poor decision on my part. Arkadius goes ahead, he puts Primal up on the Gorax. We're going to send the Gorax into the Storm Troll here, eventually. And he's trying to stab him with his little needle gun to damage him, but it ends up not, so no free charge for him. The other Gorax comes around, he manages to Primal up the Roadhog. And then the Roadhog, what we're going to try to do with him is just advance on up and kill off 2 Pyre Trolls. Hopefully we have the damaged one from the Razor Boar and then the one right there. So the Gunboar goes ahead, he takes a shot, and is out of range, unfortunately. Scatters nowhere. Then we take the Roadhog, he's just going to advance on in, and he's positioning himself directly between those 2 guys. And so he's just going to start, he starts swinging on the damaged one because he's already hurt, so try to get him out of the way first. Gets a crit knockdown with the Tusks, which is kind of nice. And a really good damage roll. So then we start over on the next one. And that Pyre Troll is actually dead there, he just hadn't removed the model yet. And unfortunately some bad dice rolling on my part later. The second Pyre Troll is still alive, and now he's on single-digit health. I don't know, like 1 or 2. Something bad like that. So, next up I'm trying to solve the conundrum of what to do on the bottom side of the table. Ultimately, what I'd like is to put Massacre on that Roadhog, and then have the Warhog charge into the Slag Troll there, get him down, and then have the Roadhog go into the Pyre Troll who's got like 3 health left, and then bounce up and start attacking something else. So we've got the next Gunboar going, he's shooting, boosting to hit, scores a hit, boosts some damage, maybe does some damage. I don't think anything terribly impressive. It's just Fury. So, there's kind of a debate also on whether I want to send that Warhog, who had frenzied at the top of the screen. He's actually facing forward. He'd have scoring problems and pigs as well. where no one can actually fit on their base. And whether or not I want to send him into that Pyre Troll, or whether I want to send him after the Storm Troll there. So, first up, we're going to take the Warhog. We're going to send him. He has a free charge because of fuel cache. And he's going to Scorn Face and miss horribly. Boosted Tusk attack. So, connects with a cleaver. Connects with another cleaver. And he leaves that Pyre Troll or Slag Troll on, again, single digit health. It's kind of like the bane of my existence is I'm not finishing off any of these lights. So we have the Gorax going next. He's primaled up and he's charging in. And he's just going to wail on that Storm Troll. But unfortunately, just some, probably average dice rolls in the long run, but it doesn't finish him off either. So now my plan on getting 5 of his War Beasts with my Alpha Strike is actually starting to look pretty grim. Now, rather than sending up that free Warhog there to go after the Pyre Troll, we're probably going to bring the Warhog in there to finish off the Storm Troll, so that way he's not going around and messing with Arkadius. So that Warhog just is walking in. And he is ultimately going to end up facing to put his Animus up on the Roadhog. But first things first, he's got to go kill himself a Storm Troll. So, now he's going to turn. He's going to put Massacre up. Then the Roadhog will get to charge for free. He's charging the Slag Troll. And he's going to go ahead and boost to hit with the Tusks. Basically, when you're using Roadhogs, it's always the Tusks, because it's the same POW as the Claw, but it has knockdown. Great news is that he rolls triple 1s to miss with his boosted attack. He has 4 dice with Starcrossed on there. So he misses his charge attack, which means he doesn't get the Massacre bonus. So he ends up just really kind of failing all over the place. And then this hill killed me all game. Could not get models to stay on the hill. So, but the Bonegrinders are kind of moving up to form a little wall around Arkadius. Not nearly as successful an Alpha Strike feat turn as I would have liked. I was going in for 5 War Beasts and I only ended up killing 2.
So that was a long time for you guys to listen to Gaston talk, wasn't it? Hopefully he didn't get too frustrated as Starcross sort of saved my bacon there. Come on, pig jokes never get old. Gaston's one of my favorite players. We actually met because I recognized photos from his battle reports on the Menoth forums. And I played Menoth, so I used to read a lot of his stuff when I was first learning the game. And lo and behold, he lived 15 minutes away from me. Who knew? So it's kind of ironic that we're both sitting here playing non-Menoth armies. And we have a running joke that I was going to beat the pig out of and send him back to Menoth because I told him I have nothing fun to read when he's not posted in the Menoth forums. But that was a long turn. I don't know if you guys could tell, but that was a good 20 minutes, I think, at least. So it's going to be my feet turn. Starcross really did come out huge. I only lost 2 lights through his feet turn. Most of his heavies are in a position where I can get multiple light beasts on them. The pig in the middle of the zone is stationary because he got too close to Freezer. Hopefully Gaston got a good chuckle out of that on his side of the battle report. Krielstone's gonna go. They're gonna pop for strength. I'm gonna get a lot of melee attacks in on this feat turn, whereas in the past when I played the list, I believe most of my attacks were ranged during the feat turn. So this is a nice diversity when you're using this list. But Calandra's gonna move up. I'm gonna befuddle the Roadhog, I think. I'm gonna do some befuddling and just make it easier for my beast to hit. Pull him forward a little bit, give me better charge angles, turn him around so I'll be hitting him in the back. thereby lowering his defense. I'm not going to put up Starcrossed. He had knocked too many of my beasts down low to where I needed to heal some aspects in order to get them to function this turn. A couple of them I only healed enough to where I could make them self-regen. So I befuddled those other beasts out the way, facing the wrong direction. That guy had primaled, so he's not going to be in the fight next turn no matter what. So he's not going to be a high priority target. I'm going to go for the things that aren't primaled and try to take them off the board. I believe I would have been better off had I used the Runebearer to Harmonious Exaltate myself in this turn, but I did not, so we got no chance to Soothing Song off some of the stuff I wanted to do. I believe I'm camping 1 with Calandra, and I like to actually have a stack of 4 or 5 on her feet turn so that I can do rerolls with Fate Blessed, but at this point we're going to do some fighting. So the Lightning Troll's coming up, Storm Troll's coming up, and basically, you know, if you haven't got a chance to play against Calandra or you haven't played Calandra, her feet turn is just brutal. It ramps up the damage output of your stuff by a whole bunch, especially if they're not having to do any boosting to hit. So most of your attacks are going to hit. The Storm Troll and the Slag with 1 Fury take off 1 Heavy. And that's the type of things that you can look forward to doing under this feat. I moved Calandra over enough to get this guy back under control. So the Pyre Troll is now going to go and try to take the 2 little pigs off. So the first one goes down. And I think these things only have like 13 hit points or something like that. So it's not like a big deal to take them off, but they're annoying. And get in the way. And just a note to those of you guys out there, I should have moved that Pyre Troll forward base to base with both of them, and then I could have baconated my way for some healing. Just lessons learned. So this guy's job right here, he put his Animus up on a different Slag Troll to give him more powerful melee attacks, and then he's going to shoot. So what I do wrong here is I put his Animus up and then walked him away from the Fury I put by him, and proceeded to buy 2 attacks, and then like, where'd this Fury come from? I'm gonna realize it. So we erase some of the damage that I did. Kind of a little derp there, but we backed it up and erased his damage. He only shot once, 1 boosted shot, and now the melee Slag comes to town. So with the stone and the Animus, he's hitting at POW, what is it, 16? So it's dice minus, I believe, 2. And what this is gonna do is just gonna clear this whole side of the board for me, to where Gaston does not have a good retaliation. The only thing I would have done different maybe is have Calandra on this side of the objective, so I could start thinking about getting to that flag that's closest to us for scoring. I still plan on clearing out the entire zone, but I'm probably not going to get enough shots in the objective on this turn. Most of that's because I wasted a Slag Troll shot when I should have just killed the objective. But anyways, so now we move on to heavy number 3. Again, this guy's been got an Animus from the Slag Troll that shot the stationary board to knock him out the way. Storm Troll's coming in at dice, I think, off 3. And I'm doing some good rolls. I don't even have to reroll any 1s or 2s for a lot of these. There's double 1s that get rerolled, so that's always nice, you know. The double 1 that shuts down your turn and puts you in the tank just doesn't even have to worry about happening. So what I'm doing right now is he regens. I believe I give back his body. He doesn't have mine, so I'm going to boost the hit. So I'm rolling 2 dice. But that's enough to hit with, and then I'm rolling full damage. So I get the charge attack. I charge free because of the fuel cache, and the Pyre Troll with 2 hit points takes off the heavy. So now I feel like everything else that happens this turn is kind of bonus. So we're gonna stand still, and we're gonna try to crit stationary a couple guys over here. If you do the math on this, I think I've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20, 25, 26. I think I end this turn with 32 Fury on the table. So I'm glad I got my money's worth.
So, as expected from Trolls and Calandra and her feet turn, his counterpunch hit me pretty hard. I lost a lot of juice right there. So we have the Gorax. He goes ahead and he frenzies on the objective, and I think he rolls relatively poorly on damage. And then we've got the Roadhog. He goes around and he frenzies, and Bacon's back up. So, yay, Bacon. Otherwise, I've got a couple gun boars and a Gorax left to work with, as well as Targ. So, it's not a great situation to be in. One of the things I'd like to do is start moving Arkadius towards that flag up at the top. So that way maybe I can start adding some scenario pressure onto him. Because right now the middle is kind of a lost cause. The other thing is that Pyre Troll and that Storm Troll are kind of juicy pickings for that Gunbore there. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to primal him now with the Gorax. And we're also going to move the Gorax in position so that Arkadius can charge him. Get a little bit of extra distance towards that flag, but still be able to cast a spell, still keep him in the game. So Arkadius is going to go, he's going to charge. He actually misses the Gorax, so go figure. Maltreats, then hits the Storm Troll with Crippling Grasp, and throws Forced Evolution onto the Gunbore. He also is going to go ahead and heal everyone else in the battle group with Psychosurgery. And there's Force Evolution. So we're going to take Gunbore number 2 and safety first. Move him so he's kind of on the hill still. And he's just going to go ahead and put a shot into that Storm Troll with a Crippling Grasp. Boosts some very nice damage. Then Targ, have him go ahead and shoot that Pyre Troll down there. He'll hit, but oh, he will kill him. So there's some great work out of that Gunbore there and that Targ with the ancillary attack. So now we have my Gunbore going up. He's charging the Pyre Troll. He's getting so he's engaging both of them. Charges for free again because of the objective. And he puts the smackdown on the Pyre Troll, then turns around and puts the smackdown here on the Storm Troll as well. Some attacks later. So that's 3 War Beasts down right there, which is fantastic for me. Unfortunately, it's probably like a turn too late. Kind of was wishing I'd done that the previous turn. But still a lot of good work. The Bonegrinders are moving to sort of screen and then to help hold the zone as well.
I've turned the game into a light beast on light beast game, and I feel that's hugely advantageous for me. In contemplating what Fury to pull back, I decided I'm going to leave a couple Fury on everything so that I can Soothing Song and have a pretty good turn with my activations. His Gorax is frenzied into his own objective, doing some damage. I've shot it once. I'm now going to proceed to, I believe every one of my beasts are going to fail their frenzy checks. So there's the spoiler. I'm now going to beat the bejesus out of myself. Sort of annoying. I'd have liked at least a couple of these guys to pass some frenzy checks. And it really allows Gaston back into the game. It's amusing. I've had, you know, the possibility of this happening has always been there. But, I mean, all these guys are threshold 9. So, I mean, I have to be rolling some pretty high dice to not be making at least a couple of these threshold checks. And there they all go. So those slags all had a little slag party and, you know, they made a little mosh pit. Someone's jamming out to some Jesus Jones from back in the day. They're all bouncing around and giving high fives. Yeah, they stink. But anyways, I think I wind up with a at least a Storm Troll that can do something. Yeah, he's got 2 Fury on him. So we'll see what this turn should go relatively quick. So at this point, what I want to do, I want to keep Calandra alive. So she's going to the Runebearer is bravely going to go stand in the charge lane of the Roadhog. Calandra is going to strategically replace her movement to a... Okay, she's retreating. She's going to retreat after she befuddles that guy further away. And that's we call that strategic withdrawal. But I also want to get to the point where I can run to that objective and score a point on the next turn. And I think it might just be a little bit too far. But the Storm Troll is going to come up and attempt to kill his ancillary attack solo. I guess his name is Targ. And I re-roll because I'm a little bit tilted like that. And I think I miss him. Or actually, no, I do hit him and he makes a tough check. So that's pretty much all the work I'm going to get done now. What I want to do with my Krielstone is just kind of protect as many of my beasts as possible. He's got Primal up on that gun boar, so he's not going to be able to do much. I guess I did have 1 slag. So I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to kill the... what am I doing? Oh, he had counter shot, whatever it was up. Okay. Yeah, that's a good thing to remember that they have that the counter shot ability. I obviously forgot. So the slag takes a shot at the Gorax. It doesn't do hardly any damage to it, and it says, okay, what am I doing? So now I'm going to shoot the objective. And that's just Krielstone getting in a position where he has to at least get through those medium bases before he gets to my lights. And that's really the extent of the turn. Hopefully I survive. I'll come back and talk to you guys one more time at least, huh?
So he took a bit of a risk with his Fury management there, and having all of his War Beasts Frenzy like that was actually really, really good for me. It was a huge boon. It got me kind of a semi-free turn with which to work with and kind of keep me in the game. The flip side of that is he freaking rolled like a god on my objective. He did 13 points in 1 shot. I guess he'd already taken a point from the Gorax, frenzying on it, and that corrosion just finished it off. What we're checking right here is Arkadius within 9 inches of the flag? And we're going to go ahead, we're going to get our handy spectator to go measure. And unfortunately he's going to be probably about 1/8 of an inch shy. So my plan to have him go ahead, charge like the Roadhog or something, and start getting control points is not going to play in this turn. So we're going to have to go do something else because I need him to start casting anima and things like that. I can't have him running around. So did upkeep Force Evolution. The gun boar went ahead and frenzied and he toughed on the Krielstone guy. So now what we're going to try to do is have that Gorax, free up the Gorax, have him walk into the Slag Troll pile and hopefully kill 1 to 2 more of them, and then have that gun boar go and hopefully take out that Storm Troll that's over there. Targ toughing was also phenomenal. He went ahead, stood himself up, did an ancillary attack on a damaged Slag Troll and didn't hit at all. So now we're just trying to figure out how to layer out my buffs. So the Bonegrinders come over, they put up Craft Talisman on Arkadius, so he has a little bit extra range, keeps him safety. Then we take the Gorax, we scoot him up a little bit, and he primals the other Gorax. Arkadius is going to go ahead and maltreat him, and I am trying to keep that Gorax near him for the shield guard, just to keep him safe. I'm still very concerned about the shooting. Goes ahead, he primals and Forced Evolutions the gun boar, and then casts Psychosurgery, then starts to move just a little bit closer to the flag, so next turn he'll be able to get over there. But we're still trying to keep him a little bit relevant to the game in case anything changes. So we take the gun boar, we prop him up on that damn hill, and he takes his first swing on the Krielstone guy. With Primal up, he kills him relatively easily, and then starts unloading onto the Storm Troll. He does some great work, but it's just going to be another case of leaving him alive on a couple of health. I believe the Storm Troll is probably in the single digits now as well, so it just wasn't there. But it does, fortunately, he did make his tough checks, so that frees up that Gorax to turn around and come on in. And he's just going to start swinging on those Slag Trolls. And one of them is down to like 2 health. I mean, it's definitely a game of me not successfully finishing off things. So then he's going to just start working on the next Slag Troll over. Then since he's primal, he's just going to go to full fury. Then over here, we're just going to take the Roadhog. He's going to spray down one of the Krielstone unit and then the Winter Troll. We're being kind of careful when I back him up a little bit before we measure. And just make sure I'm not in charge range, because I don't need him buffing up that stupid troll and then charging and killing my Roadhog. That Roadhog is relatively damaged. So we boost on the Storm Troll, but we don't, not the Storm Troll, the Ice Troll, but don't do a lot of damage.
Alright, Trollblood turn 5. Kind of stinks the camera didn't quite catch it, but and there's a glare. But clock is starting to become a factor in this game. Right now I'm trying to figure out, I've got this side of the board down by closest to the bottom of your screen, pretty much dominated. So what I want to do at this point is maybe I'm going to try to clear the zone and get to that flag down there if I'm in range. I love this Winter Troll. I'm telling you, he's like the last light war beast that I have bought. I was probably never, if it wouldn't have been for this theme force, I might never have found love for this guy. But he is able to take out and then break the morale of the Bonegrinders. So now I just have the primal gun board to get rid of, and then I'll have that zone. So the Krielstone is now going to position themselves in places to help make it harder for him to get in the zone. And they're going to go back to strength. They did combat warding last time, which kind of helped against the Roadhog spray. I don't know if you picked that up or not, but so little POW 12s can do some damage to some gun bores. It's kind of cool. And now we're going to basically take these 2 Slag Trolls, try to take this Gorax and that gun bore off the table. So that's our goals right here. The gun bore is stationary, so that's why the Slag is just sitting there shooting it and boosting damage. He got crit stationary from the Winter Troll. So now I'm going to score at least 1 point in the zone. I'm thinking to myself, the only way I absolutely lose this game is if I stick Calandra in a place where that Roadhog can do something to her. So rather than score 2, what I'm going to do is, I think I put up Starcrossed and get closer to the flag down on this end. She's not going to be able to, again, this kind of keeps me out of harm's way, giving that Roadhog mad respect. I'm still going to score a point for being in the zone. He's only going to have basically stuff at the top of the screen to fight with. And I've got enough of a buffer where I think I can score my remaining points on this flag down at the bottom of the screen if I need to. If I don't just win by attrition. So right now we're killing off the Gorax. It's one thing when you play Calandra and you play these light beasts is the feet turn really has to do a lot of work, because they have a tendency not to always hit when they're out of feet. But so this Storm Troll is sleeping on the job, is attempting to kill the gun boar. He's not going to do it, and we're going to pass the turn.
So now we're just doing a little bit of maintenance. The gun boar frenzies. and ends up killing the Storm Troll off. Go ahead and don't upkeep Forced Evolution. But unfortunately I'm starting to feel the scenario pressure quite a bit now. So one of those Slag Trolls has 3 health on him, and so again we're going to get Targ, accelerate attack, try to get a direct hit, but he doesn't. Other than that, like 1 or 2 phenomenal shots that guy's had, he sucked at ancillary attacks all game. But Targ is stepping into the zone. You can't tell because he's knocked down. So here's where I make a bit of a boo-boo. I originally was walking the Gorax up into the zone, and I changed my mind. It was a blonde moment, really. I don't have a good reason. But I was trying to contest the zone there, and I ended up not. What I was thinking instead is I kind of wanted Arkadius to scooch up and Crippling Grasp the Slag Troll there, so that way I was trying to protect the Roadhog from any sort of retaliation. So the Roadhog got primaled, and then he's going in on this Winter Troll, and I figure a primaled Roadhog should hopefully be able to kill a Winter Troll. But unfortunately, due to just a bunch of misses, he does approximately like 15 damage. I think he only hit like 3 times, and ends up stationary instead. So now I got a whole different mess on my hands. So, and then the Bonegrinders had also fled, so they're not around to craft Talisman for Arkadius. They just rallied this turn. So now Arkadius is trying to run around and fix things a little bit, and ultimately he probably should have just run to the flag and added some scenario presence there.
Alright, my turn 6. Stuff's going a little bit faster now, huh? So we are both in agreement with some rules that are incorrect, in that we believe that stationary meant you weren't contesting. So we're stopping right now the clock to try to look that up. We didn't have the SR packet with us, so we both agree that stationary means you don't contest the zone. And that makes a difference in this game. Maybe it wouldn't have made a huge difference. I probably would have just tried to man up the Winter Troll and push the Roadhog out of the zone with the strength from the stone. I think it would have been easily done. However, what we since we just basically agree that for at least this game, stationary does not contest. You guys all need to know that it does. Again, there's only a couple models in the middle zone, and Calandra's going to get to the flag, so I'm going to at least get to 3, if not 4. Both our clocks are under 4 minutes at this time, and I don't know if so. Here we go. Krielstone again. His job is to kind of get in the way, lock that guy in place, so he's not going to leave next turn. We will swing on the guys that we can hit because he's stationary. Why not get some points on him? Go quick. And these slags basically need to take care of the guys that are left in the zone. So Calandra is running there with her full stack. That's all she did was run. Slag, so these guys need to get their work done, because the nice thing about having a full stack with Calandra is you can still re-roll misses and damage rolls if you don't like what you get. But Slag's able to take out the guy he needs to take out. These 2 guys are shooting. That was don't know why. This guy's gonna shoot the last Bone Grinder, get him out of the zone. So that's what he was doing. That Bone Grinder better leave. Okay, and now we score again. His turn.
So, if you're a hyper-competitive person and trying to not lose on scenario, what do? You go ahead and try to clock him. You probably can't see at the top there, though, but he has about 1:05 left on his clock. So, what we're trying to do here is take that gun boar. Originally, I was thinking about primaling him, or throwing Massacre on him, taking out that Slag Troll that's right in front of him, and then trying to scoot closer to the flag. The thing that worries me is Befuddle. Basically, if I'm not starting within 1 inch of that flag, then Calandra can just walk me out of it. She moves me 3 inches. So instead, we go ahead and throw Primal on the gun boar on some sort of abortive plan, and send the Gorax in to attack that Slag Troll. The other thing I was looking at doing is possibly having Arkadius move up and put Crippling Grasp on the Slag Troll. But ultimately, I do kind of want it dead. I don't know how to kill it. I try Primal Shock, and that ends up not working. So I end up throwing Crippling Grasp onto the other one. Then Primal Shock through the Gun Boar, that does not do any damage at all. It's a POW 8 to the Slag Troll. So some very blonde moment, not great plans. The Roadhog was stationary and then he Primal Frenzied, so he does nothing. So instead we're taking the Gun Boar, running up to the flag and hoping for the best.
So the worst thing that could happen after this great game is for it to lose on clock. I don't want a clock. You guys don't want to see a clock. We've got 4 control points. What is to happen? Well, it's time for Calandra to unleash the full might and fury of her personal beatdown stick on this Light War Beast. So first she's going to Force Blow, knocking the beast down, boosting damage to make sure he is hurt. And then the Power of Salt. And this is pretty funny because I don't think Gaston ever has seen salt before. I had to actually show it to him. It is an extra dice, so we are going to be swinging as if we're a weapon master on this knockdown beast. And then the last time we're going to throw 4 dice out there because we boosted. And it was able to kill, do most of the damage I need to do, and then the slag turns and shoots it and kills him off. And we get us a win. It was a good game. I had a lot of fun, and it was a fun scramble.